One of the questions I've been asked a lot of times is, Dami, how are you able to make the switch from being a purely science student to actually building a career in marketing? It's not hard, trust me. And today in this video, I'm going to be telling you the things I did and as well as the things I think you can also do that will help you in switching, making a career switch from whatever you're doing now to a new career path. So if that's something you think you want to see, make sure to stay on. Original, original Batman. The beat. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Molola Akinlaye and I am a YouTuber based in Lagos, Nigeria. If you're an old subscriber, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for liking and for subscribing too. Let's jump right into today's video. Capish? To start with, I'll give a bit of a background story. So I studied industrial chemistry in the University of Lagos for 5 years. Yeah, it's a 5 year course. And currently, I am working as the marketing lead in one of the fintechs in Lagos, Nigeria. In switching from one career to another, there are 6 steps that I think are crucial to you being able to successfully migrate. The first thing to do if you want to switch your career path is to do a self evaluation. Now, the importance of this cannot be overrated. In doing a self evaluation, what you're checking out for is you want to know your strengths and your weaknesses, and you also want to know the skill set you currently have. One important personality test I think every person should take is the 16 personality tests. I'm going to drop this link in the description box and you can actually take the test. Now, if you take the test, you're able to know, oh, this is my personality, this is why I act the way you do, why you act the way you do, rather. And that helps you to be self aware. So you're able to know your strengths and your weaknesses. Now, for me, I am a very extroverted person, as I've mentioned in my previous videos, and this is difficult because I cannot maintain I can't maintain long stretches of focus. So if you tell me, oh, we have to do a 15-hour exam, or we have to have it like a 10-hour class, or you have to do something that requires like a long stretch of focus, miss me, man, I am not. That is like where you want to cut me down the most because I won't be able to focus for that long and I will get distracted. So I have learned from taking like this test, it has helped me to say, okay, instead of doing 15 hours at once, what I can actually do is do 1 hour or 2 hours, right? In batches. So do 2 hours, take a 30-minute break, do another 2 hours, take a 30-minute break, and stretch it over a couple of days, right? So I'm a people facing person. Now imagine me being a people facing person, a loud, extroverted person, and you're not placing me in the lab. So I will do a quick backstory again. In studying industrial chemistry, the year I knew I could not do this long term was in 400 level. 400 level, we had to go for the mandatory COS course, and I was able to do this in an organization. So the organization I was working in, they put me in the labs. We had to work on treatments, work on wastewater, work on sewage water, test it and all that. And that was all we did for the first 6 weeks, for the first 4 weeks. It was interesting, right? But after then, I'm like, this is all I have to do for the next 6 months. Do the same routine, test for the same chemicals, give the lab attendants the values, and I'm done. Like, I was more concerned with, okay, I want to know what are these values for. If we're testing for the levels of iron in the water, what is the like minimum, what is the maximum? When it is too low, how do we increase it? When it is too high, how do we reduce it? Those are the things that piqued my own interest. But we never got to do that in the lab. Just come to work, test for water, test the water rather, test for iron, test for this, test for like various substances, give them the results, and we're done. It was frustrating for the first 6 weeks. So that is where like self-evaluation comes in. I was able to evaluate myself, evaluate my strengths and weaknesses. If you can see, like tying in my self-evaluation, being able to evaluate myself to know that okay, I can actually do this long term. So what other options do I have? That's where self-evaluation comes in. You have to be able to know these are my strengths, these are my weaknesses. You do not expect to put an introvert, for instance, in a role that involves active marketing. So let's say you want to do, and this is not digital marketing, putting an introvert in a place that involves, let's say, where they have to face people, communicate every day, you're going to drain them out. And that is where self evaluation comes in, because by the time you know yourself, even the Bible says it's man, know thyself. You're able to know, oh, I won't function well in this career path, but I can function well in this career path. So it helps you to know your strengths, your weaknesses. Now, the other part of self evaluation you have to deal with is analyzing your skill sets. What skills do you have? Back to the lab story. One of the skills I was able to develop was okay, being able to write up reports. That was previously. I used to help my mom type up reports for her school. So that I could actually analyze a report. I could give you like a breakdown of okay, if this iron is so amount, this is why it is. This is why each. This is what should be done to make it to increase the value, if to increase the value of the iron in the water or whatever. That's if it needed to be increased. If it was too much, what are the steps you need to take to break it down? And the layman would understand. Those were my strengths. So what I was able to do was I then moved, right? Because I'm an extrovert, I was able to relate with other people in different aspects of the organization, research and department, HR. So I was not stuck in the lab. And from there, I was able to move to work as the PA to the general manager. So how that helped me was whenever we went for field tests, I was the only intern that was allowed to go on field tests actually. Field tests, get this, get that. I would actually make a report to show that okay, this is what we found out, these are the things I think should be done. And I was able to present this to the GM and also his second in command. And this then endeared me to them. So I was able to like break through, okay, not working in the lab and being able to develop my skill set through report writing, analysis, and all of that. That's that. The third thing you need to do when you do a self-evaluation is to analyze what your interests are. You cannot put a fish on a tree and expect it to function well. But even that analogy might be wrong. But my point is, you won't function where you are not interested in. The reason why I was able to do well as the PA and writing up reports, analysis, and all that was because I was able to know these are my interests, these are the things I'm interested in. I am not ready for the lab life. I'm not ready to go in and do the same thing, monotonous thing every single day. I was ready for okay, I want things that interest me. I want to be able to say, okay, this was what happened yesterday, this was what happened, this is what is happening today. How can I tie them in together? Asking questions, right? Those were the things that piqued my interest. And this helped me to know. So when I got back to school in 500 level, I knew that man, industrial chemistry was not going to cut it for me. So I just really focused on, okay, let me just graduate with good grades and then focus on my business. And from there, we'll see how things play out. The second step is do your research. Now, what is actually required in this new career path or industry you're going into? So, for me, coming from an industrial chemistry background, I didn't even know what I wanted to do. I just knew I wanted to be in a customer centric position. Now, back in 2018, when I attended Ready Set Work, I was able to analyze my skill sets, right, which I already said you should do by being self aware and doing a self evaluation. And I knew that, okay, I was good at, I had great communication skills, I had great interpersonal skills, right? These were soft skills I had picked up over the years. So, what this helped me realize was, okay, I can actually work in a customer facing position. Do you get? So, I'd done the evaluation and now I was already doing my research that, okay, I can work in a customer facing position. Now, what are the skills I need to build? What qualities are required? What transferable skills do you have? Now, for undergraduates, which I was then, the skills I had, like I already mentioned, communication skills, interpersonal skills, report writing, proficiency in MS Word, MS PowerPoint, and MS Excel. Yes, I actually picked those up over the years. But for you, what are the skills you think you have now that you actually would want to use, that you can use in the new career path you're going to? It could be communication skills, it could be report writing, right? These are things that will help you. These are transferable skills that you can transfer from your current industry to the one you're going to. Another good example is we're in the tech age now, so to speak. A lot of people are like, oh, I want to be a front-end developer, I want to be a back-end developer, I want to be a software engineer, I want to be a data analyst. Great. If you're looking at non-coding aspect, what skills do you have now? Are you a CS person at the moment, a customer service person? What skills do you have that you can transfer into digital marketing? Do you get my point? What skills do you have as a what example can I use? As an admin person, right? Maybe you're an administrative assistant where you're working now and you're looking to switch into maybe like a tech role or something. What administrative assistant skills do you have now that you can transfer into product management or into customer support? I'll go into further details of how I switched into tech, but these are like the questions you need to ask and you need to do your research. Now, the third thing to do is close the skill gap. You are currently maybe here. This is where you're coming to. You have to close the skill gap. So you've already identified what transferable skills you have. Most people will have soft skills like communication, interpersonal skills, empathy, proficiency in MS Word, analytical skills, critical thinking skills, and all that. Great. You need to actually build a bridge between where you are and where you want to be. So you need to build a bridge. And how do you do that? Simple. Take online courses, right? Go undergo internships. Now, back to my personal story. One of the ways I was able to close the skill gap was to go for internships and low hanging fruit jobs. Now, it's dicey. Some people might not be able to do it. The first job I got when I finished university was my salary was 20,000, and I was my transport fare in a month was 15,000. So you can understand. Everyone was against me going for the job. Like, why are you doing that kind of job? Blah blah blah. It was a customer service representative for a delivery company, right? And I had to show up every day. It was somewhere in Ogun State. I had to show up every day, and I had to interact with customers. But now here's where I'm going to. A lot of people were like, "Oh, why are you doing that job and all that?" But I knew where I was going to. I knew that I wanted to work in a customer centric position. I took the lowest hanging fruit I could find. It was just, oh, hello, thank you for calling, thank you for reaching out to us. Your items will be delivered, blah, 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 blah. But with that, I was able to build customer service skills. In addition to that, I was taking online courses on Allison.com. I'll share the link in the description box. You have free online courses there where you can take as many different online courses. So I was taking online courses and also working in a job that even though it wasn't paying me well, I was using that to build time. And guess what? I spent only 2 months there, in January and February. As at this period, January and February, I was applying to different internships. Once I see an internship online, Piam, I've sent my CV. Piam, I've applied. Because I knew that I didn't want to stay where I was for long, but I wanted to build some sort of experience. And luckily for me, I got accepted into one of the internship programs in Nigeria, in one of Nigeria's banks. The interview, I made them know, okay, when a customer has an issue, these are the ways I'm able to attend to it. When this happens, this is what I'm able to do and all that. So you need to be able to close that skill gap. You might have to take internships that are probably half your current pay or less than your current pay. But at the end of the day, you know what you're looking for. You're looking to close that skill gap. You need to be able to give tangible experience. It's good to have online certifications. It's good to go to school. It's good to be able to say, oh, I studied this, I did this, I got this course, I did this. But have you actually put all these things learned into practical use? People that say that theory is different from practical, it's very correct. You think in your be like, oh, how will you deal with a difficult customer? Oh, I will tell the customer to be very patient. I'll tell the customer to do this. I'll tell the customer to do that. And then, hey, until a customer calls and starts insulting your family members, you'll be like, what did we carry? What did we throw? But you get my point, right? The major thing is you need to be able to put it into practice, and you can do that through internships and opportunities, low hanging fruits, like I like to call them. The fourth step is to take on bridge roles. Now, as I have mentioned, you're trying to close this skill gap. You already have a bridge. There's a role in between. Would you rather take that role in between or, you know, just keep where you are? So that's where a bridge role comes in. Bridge roles are like roles that not they're not exactly what you do at the moment, but they're not exactly where you want to be. Right? It's like an in-between role. How do I mean? I came in as a CS intern, and then towards the I think 3 or 4 months in, my manager reached out to me and she was like, okay, our top manager reached out and she was like, okay, we need someone that can handle Instagram or handle like Instagram, Facebook. All we need you to do is post. Meanwhile, before then, I'd already started like building my business on Instagram. I would post. I knew like tips and tricks. These are the things you could do. I knew just the basics of how to use Instagram, Facebook, and scheduling tools, right? So I had already been doing customer service for about 3 months in the organization, and I'm like, okay, well, I can give it a try. Last, if I don't like it, I will drop it on Okon Waja. And then when the marketing lead left, they were like, oh, okay, Dami, can you actually create posts, like a content calendar that we can work with? And I'm like, sure. I've seen enough for how to do, and I've taken a couple of courses online too. So I actually knew what I could do. And I started bringing and share with them, and they'll make, oh, correct this, correct this, correct this. And then I started going for more courses online. I started developing myself. So that's what I mean when I talk about bridge role. And now that same marketing role that I just, let me give it a try. That's the same team that I lead at the moment. So do you get what I'm trying to say? Close the skill gap. You don't want, in trying to close the skill gap, you also need to take on bridge roles. They're not exactly where you want to be, right? I had to be a social media manager and a customer service personnel at the same time. But then that was a bridge role I needed to take to say, okay, I'm not where I want to be, but let me see where this is taking me to. The fifth thing to do when you are trying to switch careers or change your industry is adjust your CV. Don't carry pet and gas CV to go and be applying for marketing role. Oh. You will just find that you're using your CV to go and sell suya. Because of course that's not what you're not tailoring it to that particular organization or to that particular role or to that particular industry, right? So you have to adjust your CV. And what you're going to do is when you're adjusting your CV, you want to highlight the qualities or the skills you currently have that are useful in this new career path. So, very good example. When I wanted to switch to customer service, right? Applying to my current organization when I went starting as an intern, I made sure that when I was writing it out for my intern for my CWS, I put the experience there for my CWS, but I didn't put anything like I was analyzing. I didn't put that, oh, we analyzed this sample, we did this test, we did that. No. So instead of saying we ran tests on some substances to determine the result. You can say something like we analyzed so and so substance, so and so product or substance to test for the presence of this. Now, what that states is that you have analytical skills. You've been able to analyze something, right? But that was probably just one line out of like maybe 5 bullet points on my CV. The other parts were talking about how I did report writing, how I did field assignments, how I was able to organize a team of people to put together a presentation, how I was able to be a personal assistant, right? Then I highlighted more on where I had like customer service skills. So the delivery company that I worked in, I put there all things that were related to customer service that I did there. For the personal assistant that I did in the bank, I didn't really put a lot of PA stuff in there, but it was mainly about, okay, this is what I did. When customers come to the branch and they had issues, I would make sure to resolve it. I assisted in administrative tasks with the branch managers. I did this, compiled this, research, planning, which were like things that I felt I needed to be able to succeed in a customer centric role, which was the role I was applying for. Capish? So please don't carry your pet and gas. Why I keep saying pet and gas, but don't carry your pet and gas CV saying I work as a petroleum and gas this thing in this place. I did this one. I automated this engineering. Don't carry it and go and use it to apply for a customer service role. The sixth point is network, network, network. Networking is super important. You want to be able to connect with people. Now, my current organization where I work, where I came in as an intern, it was a friend that sent the application to me. He was like, oh, Dami, you're finishing your NYC, you're from NYC camp, right? There's this role that I heard of that is open, blah, 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 blah. I saw it on my class group. Are you interested? And I'm like, oh, send it, let me see. and I saw it, Googled the organization. I'm like, oh, it seems like something I'll be interested in. Applied, pitched a call to them. They called me for an interview, and 3 years later, here I am. So if you are unable to, when how will I put this? I think I might have to say this in Yoruba. My mom says ẹni tó bá fẹ́ béèrè nǹkan òun ni ọwọ́ ẹ̀ máa ń gùn òun ni ó máa ń I don't know. But basically, if you need something, you will talk about it. There's one phrase my mom always says that like a closed mouth is a closed destiny. If you don't let people know that, oh, okay, guys, please, I'm looking to switch careers. I'm tired of where I'm working. I don't want to work where I am again. I want to go into this. Talk. People will help you. People might even be able to guide you and say, okay, instead of taking this online course, do this one, do this short one. Instead of doing this, do this. Send your CV. Let me help you check. What skills do you have currently? Okay, go and quickly find out to do this. Low hanging fruits, right? And that is only achievable when you're able to network with others. Don't go and be saying, eh, I will always apply online. I'll get a job if I apply online. You might be lucky and you might get the job, but 90% of jobs that are available are not even advertised. It's always, oh, it might even be within an organization. Ah, you guys, oh, we need to hire so and so person. Who do you know? Now imagine they are looking for maybe a product designer, or they're looking for a UX intern or a UI UX intern, and you that you've already been studying UI UX for the past 3 months. But because you do not want to talk to your friend, you don't want them to know that I'm looking for a job, or you not keep quiet. Please, we didn't over and give the role to somebody else. Network. I cannot emphasize this enough. Network, network, and network. It's very important. There's some extra points I like to state that they're not like part of the steps, but they're very important. Number one is it takes time. Be patient with yourself. Like, if anyone had told me that I'm going to end up having a career in marketing, from where to where? But then look at me today. Oh, and I am still even planning to diversify right into the analytical part of marketing, which is what I want to do. But my point is, it takes time. Be patient with yourself. Don't say you want to do front end development and you want to learn HTML and CSS in 1 month. Ha. Mhm. So please be patient with yourself. Second thing is, don't limit yourself to one career option. Don't say, oh, it is this backend that I must do, backend or nothing. Meanwhile, if you want to do backend, you might have to do Python, and then there's data analysis that's just nearby. That you can just, if backend is not working, jump into data analysis. If data analysis is not working, jump into business analysis. If business analysis is not working, jump into product management. Don't limit yourself to say, oh, I have to do. If I had limited myself to say, oh, is this customer service or nothing? Yeah, to them, whatever the good is, I would have suffered. But don't limit yourself to one career option. The last thing is make a plan and stick with it. Now, I am very guilty of this one. I rarely make plans. I go with the flow. But one of the things my husband has been able to help me do is I am able to now make plans and try to stick with it. I might not stick with it completely, 100%, but at least 80%. So make a plan. Okay, I want to switch to this particular career. What skills do I have? How do I bridge the skills? The current organization where you work, is there maybe like, okay, say you're working in customer service in your current organization, for instance, and you want to go into HR. How are you going to do it? Should I go and start applying for HR jobs? This and this. Meanwhile, in your organization, you have HR department though. Why not volunteer 1 hour or 2 hours, maybe in a week, in a day, I don't know, depending on your schedule. Volunteer to work for them, work with them. Oh, you guys are working on this. How can I help? How can I do this? What can I help with? And all that. It even, because you are willing to learn, they can even point you to other opportunities. And you can even use that as experience. Fine, it might not be tangible experience that you can say, oh, okay, I worked in social place as a HR person for years. But you can put it on that. When you're putting your CV, maybe you're listing 6 bullet points, you put maybe 2 customer service, then 4 things in HR that you have done. And you're using to apply for a HR role, maybe a HR internship or something. So you can start from where you are, take on a bridge role and close that skill gap. I hope you have all enjoyed this, and I hope you've been able to learn one or two things from this. If you have any questions that you feel you want to ask me, please feel free to ask me in the comment section, or if you want to reach out to me on Instagram via email, it's all in the description box, and I would love to answer all your questions to the best of my ability. Thank you so much for watching up to this part. Um, I am very, very happy whenever I get messages that, oh, Dami, I watched your YouTube video, I was able to learn this. Oh, Dami, this really helped me when I wanted, it was very impactful and all that. So please, yes, keep sharing with me when you get any form of lesson or any impact from my channel. I really love to read it. Thank you so much, guys, and make sure to hit that subscribe button, please. Hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and drop your comments down below. Your feedback, your suggestions, please drop them down below. Thank you so much, guys. Till next time. Bye bye.